tat.
Yeah.
You should probably be watching like every bot commands in like D&D because that's like where like most of the pictures go when they go. Brian likes to share his screen while he's like drawing on MS Paint too.
I probably will be, yeah.
How come DM bot commands is marked not safe for work?
Don't go in there. That's for anything I need to do.
Don't say not safe for work. Don't say not safe for work.
Do not look at DM bot commands.
It's not safe for work, so that you have to like choose to go in there. It's stuff that the DM should, the party shouldn't see that the DM is doing.
Only the DM should be in that channel.
It's just to keep things interesting. Like if I need to make a stealth check with a character that's spying on you.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Okay.
Actually, I'm gonna move DM bot commands down there.
Okay.
Now I can move back and forth easier. What did I say today at 4:59? I said, fuck. Why did you say hi, Zach? Like a minute ago. Bazinga enemy Gibbs. Yeah.
Now.
Are we missing anyone? I don't
know. We're not.
As all things should be.
I'm to go to push the talk because I'm eating pizza.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm eating pizza.
Pizza.
I guess
A moment.
as we're about to start, I can go to the character sheets and let everyone know where their standings is because I don't think Kading was here for that at the end.
Yeah, if you want to, yeah, and then we can do like long rest and update and make sure the sheets.
We already long rested.
Prep any spells. Make sure if anyone still needs to do any level up stuff, that's done.
All right, so our party we have a party of 6, unless Iados shows back up. So I'm gonna go from highest experience and level to lowest. The highest is a tie between Humorous and Balazar. Both of them are level 3 and have 1,055 experience. Directly underneath Balazar and Hugh is Brock Holdra. He has 1,075 experience, and he is also level 3. Underneath Brock is Drogos, who has 875 experience at level 2. Underneath Drogos is Ambrose Jorgensen III. He has 100 experience at level 1. And the character who has the least experience is Mo Hernandez, who has 0 experience at level 1.
Haha. What a weakling.
Alright, so that is how...
It's kind of cringe.
That's what our standings are as we start this new campaign session. Oh, it's so good. I can't wait.
There we go.
This pizza's pretty good, too.
Oh, that's good.
What kind of pizza?
That's
It's the big one.
That's like a deep dish, Domino's?
I meant what kind of like toppings?
The
big one.
The big one.
The pepperoni.
It's pepperoni.
Oh.
I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna get a bottle of water.
Dude, you're gonna make eggs.
Don't make fucking eggs again. I swear to Christ. If you don't come back in 30 minutes, I'm gonna shit.
Discord, I swear.
I mean, to be fair, he isn't getting introduced for a little bit. He'll be fine. DM bot commands. Why? That scared the shit out of me. Zach.
Alright, should we begin?
Yeah, we're gonna begin. Alright, so I just like making sure I have everything set up.
My sad alcoholic name is Zachary Morrow.
My sad alcoholic name is Matthew McQuaid.
My sad alcoholic name is Michael Orr.
Last name revealed.
You didn't know his last name?
It says on his Steam profile.
Literally his
name one time, right?
My sad alcoholic name is Ambrose Jorgensen III.
My sad alcoholic name is
That's the third. I thought that said the ill.
The ill.
Please add ill to the end of your name as a description.
According to Lord Kied, my sad alcoholic name is Balasar Dragonborn.
That man's a fucking idiot. Why is he allowed to just creep Ritz? He doesn't understand what you meant when you said a dummy.
Oh my god. No last name means no last name.
but you said he's dragonborn. Someone said he's dragonborn, so he's like, oh,
That's a race.
he's really dumb. Okay.
Stop
Okay.
calling me Matthew McQuaid White Man.
Are
I'm
we
calling
ready
you
to-
Mickey Q.
All right,
you know?
let's start.
Are you ready to start?
Not
Yeah.
Mickey Q. That's almost as bad as M
Let's just
squared.
start.
Oh, don't serve you, man.
Uh,
Okay. So starting off. Okay. So the party that is together at the moment is Humorous, Balazar, Brock, and
Here.
Bug are currently in the fancy bar where you all celebrated your last adventure. At this current moment, what has just transpired is Brock, Balazar, and Bug have just woken up, trying to be resuscitated by a guard which has come in. You threw your spot on the floor. Humorous is sitting at a table watching you very intently. He's a little groggy. What happened during our previous mini session has transpired, and at this minute, Drogos has walked through the door, having heard that you guys were all celebrating at this fancy bar, and he sees what's going on. Who would anyone like to start by saying anything?
Head hurt. Ow.
Now, looking around, because several of you, that being Brock, Humorous, Balazar, and Bug, you will have remembered that you don't remember passing out. You remember the night in celebration, and then when you woke up next, it was in a very strange place, if you'll recall. And during those events, you witnessed some quite horrible things. Now, Humorous had apparently woken up first by the look of it, seeing as he left that strange place in quite a haste. And he seems a little less groggy than the rest of you. And then the three of you rise to your feet, and the guard looks at you and he goes, "You three, are you okay?"
Fine. I think we just had too much to drink.
Whoa. What about you, little fella? And he points to Brockhalter.
First of all, rude, and second of all, yeah, I think we just had too much to drink.
Well, what about you, skeleton? You seem to have woken up first. Do you think everything's okay?
Well,
I didn't even think you could drink.
I didn't drink. That's the thing that's got me worried here is I didn't take any of that drink, but I still remember the same things that my compatriots have been through, and that's what's worrying me right now. You didn't happen to notice anything strange happening last night, did you?
No, I was called in after the four of you collapsed. You were celebrating the life of the party. Really. There was music, festivities, much talking. You seem to be quite the talk of town.
Huh.
And the bartender, that would be Jerome over there. And he points to the bartender, who is a very tall, mustachioed Goliath. He is bald. He has very gray skin, and he's in a sort of tuxedo without the coat. So he has a vest and a black and white vest and nice shirt. And he is washing out a glass, and he looks at you and smiles. He goes, "He called me in here because of you folks passing out. Are you sure everything's okay? I'll be on my way. I have many duties to attend to."
Oh, yeah, I think we're doing just fine. You guys all right over there?
Yeah, I think I'm okay.
We'll live.
Yeah, I'm recovering.
And he was gonna start he's counting. Wait a minute. You guys didn't happen to see and he holds his hand up to the area on his side. You didn't happen to see that child that was there with us, did you? You know, he's about yay high, and you guys didn't see him.
Oh, what Your Majesty? Yeah.
Ambrose Jorgensen the Third.
Oh, is that what his name was?
Yeah.
Shut up about it.
Yeah. How his family's from Port Ondo? Fucking royalty. Yeah. Where is he? Is he in here?
Do you remember that fucking sword? Jesus.
I'm he's gonna rub his forehead. I still can't remember all that happened during that. Was that even real? I mean, there was that floating eyeball thing and flesh puppets and God
Well,
knows what.
the spectator. What was its name? Gygax or something?
You guys know more than I did. I got sucked out of there pretty quickly.
Yeah, it was definitely more than a dream.
Really? Well,
I mean, I still have this weird bathite crystal on me.
really?
I'm gonna pull out the tiny bathite crystal I found in like my back pocket.
If you guys go up a little bit in D&D. Those of you that remember everything, remember what's on that sheet.
Are the people that were in that, are they able to look at that, but everyone else can't, or?
Everyone else, their character doesn't know anything about this.
Okay.
Though Drogo is listening to you as he's like, he's walked in and he's just hearing all this.
I'm just leaning against wall, hands in pockets.
Yeah, and the guard exits, by the way, and then the bartender just nods to him in thanks.
Now I'm gonna head over there and pick up Brock and Balazar and Bug and get them on their feet.
Ah,
I think we may have done a bit more than drink too much. Not gonna lie.
yeah, I mean, but you didn't drink.
Yeah, and
I've drank bad before, but like nothing's ever happened like that.
Ugh.
Never been slime before.
I mean,
It's like I fell in a tank of dwarven ale. Ugh.
Well, I mean, while you guys reminisce, I actually, I have to go really quickly. I'm just gonna take a walk to clear my mind alone. And then, Bug
Oh.
exits.
are you sure?
I just have to, yeah, I think I actually might have a lead for us. I'll be back in a little bit if you guys want to just discuss. I'm sure I won't miss much. And, Bug just, he waves to the bartender and just, leaves through the door at a brisk pace.
As he leaves, like Hugh's watching him, so would I notice Drogo's up against the wall?
Yes, you would.
Oh, Drogo's, there you are. Where have you been, buddy?
I think got things to do.
Is the magic man?
Hugh's gonna run over there and like hug him and pat him on the back. We did it, buddy. We got the Corotudor's necklace and we took it to that Kyanite fella and we got a reward for it. I think Balazar has your prize money from it over there, so you might want to go over there and get that from him. But man, it's good to see you. Where'd you go running off to? Last we saw you, we were under the lake asleep.
Look, sometimes dragon things just happen, you know.
Nah, I hear you. I know you're a mysterious fella, buddy, but I'm glad to see that you're all right. I've been worrying about you. But
No, me too.
well, we're all together now. We're doing some celebrating. Had a weird dream-like thing happen, but other than that, we're doing pretty fine. How are you holding up?
You know, just holding up the life.
I hear you.
Would you all like to maybe discuss the dream a little bit more? Like, what would you like to do in the little interim period? Is it's very early and it's like very late at night, early into the morning at the moment, and you guys feel very well rested from your like passing out. Even Drogo's has come in looking quite refreshed. Like wherever he was, he clearly was taking care of himself. Would you all like to discuss the happenings so far? Would you all like to do anything? Like any places you want to go at the meantime, or are you just waiting for Bug to get back, or do you want to talk to the bartender?
I think we should discuss to Drogo's what happened so we could catch him up. What do you guys
Mhm.
think?
Sure.
So,
This sounds like
Drogo's, you're a fanciful magic man, if you want to say that, but we had
Sorcerer,
something.
to be exact.
Sorcerer, okay, got that. Never heard you say that before. I've heard Bug and everyone else say that, but okay.
And it's easier to say magic man for most.
You got that right, buddy. But we had something happen last night, if you want to call it that, and you're wondering if you would know anything like it was a magic or something. Yeah, got a couple of minutes for us to explain it to you?
Go for it.
All right, come on over here. And I'm going to point over to the table that the three of them are. I'm going to pull up a chair for the two of us and sit down. So, who wants to go first? Who was the first to wake up? I can't even remember if it's even waking up. All I know
think
is
we all woke up at roughly the
the
same
same
time.
time. Yeah, so we ended up in this big room, and there was this pile of like meat up against the wall, and some big eyeball monster type thing was watching us and said he wanted to see us fight or something like that, and this big pile of meat just came to life and started attacking us. And
Spectator.
is that what he called himself?
That's what that's what they are.
It's like
Starting from
a
descriptions.
tiny beholder.
What's a
It was
beholder?
very full of it.
Think of a spectator, but with more limbs.
And bigger and meaner.
All right, so bunch of eyeballs. Got it. Well, anyway, we woke up in there, and that meat pile came to life and started attacking us. And there was this weird little boy there too. He was a feisty little fella, that's for sure, and nobleman or something like that. But
Ambrose Jorgensen III, son to the Baron of Port Ando, 16th in line to the throne. It is how he introduced himself every fucking time.
Well,
most nobles are the same in that regard, so not too surprising.
Yeah, but after that, Balazar got blasted with a beam, and he Hugh makes that sound despite not having lips. He's like, and then we just kept on fighting, and then a couple of minutes later, he came back, and then that time, after a while, after I started making that spectator thing mad, he blasted me with it, and the next thing I know, I was awake. I don't remember much after that. Can you guys fill me in on what happened?
Okay, so eventually, fucking sniveling nobleman, the pissant, I guess he talked it into going away for a bit, and the meat people dissolved into like the floor. In regards to the meat people, as we keep calling them, they were like kind of these blobs of vaguely humanoid pieces that they like slithered around. They were held together by bathite crystals. There was some sort of golem, I think, is how Brock described it. Then we went down into a dungeon, where there were just like a bunch of drow on a weird surgery table, and a bunch of weird magical instruments.
And what happened next?
Well, then Bug disappeared. So we went the other way from that weird T-junction at the end of the hall, and we went up into what I can only assume was like a brig area that doubled as a spiral staircase, and we found Bug, but we perceived him as to us he looked like a meat man.
Oh wow!
To him, Ambrose was the meat man. We could only talk to him because he kept using message. He did the spit trick.
This is also where I kind of woke up in the dream or whatever it was.
Right. Brock was just kind of hanging out in a jail cell for whatever reason.
All I remember is just waking up and then immediately hearing your voices.
I may have actually hit Brock in the face with a steel door.
He probably had it coming. Yeah. Happens.
Well,
I couldn't figure out how to get the door open.
It was in a dream or something. I feel fine now. So.
And then we got to the top of the stairs, and the dude said his name was it? What was it, Brock? Do you remember his name?
The big caveman guy. I think it was like Darthag.
That's
Darthag.
Darthag,
something like it. I don't know. It was some weird caveman name.
He wasn't a caveman. He was a flying volleyball. Come on.
I mean, he was named like a caveman.
And then he turned us all into meat men, and then blasted us with weird laser vision stuff, magic eyes, and we all woke up individually. I was the last to wake up.
Well, that was certainly interesting. Know what happened after I got zapped out, but what do you make of all that, Drogos? Know any magic type thing that would have done that?
Jitters are pretty powerful, though there's had to be some form of higher power to like do that. Like no, like a lone spectator can't do that.
do you think it had something to do with? And he's gonna like point up towards like the ceiling, the moon.
Potentially, though I haven't heard of a beholder like just allying themselves with a moon god or just gods in general. So
Hmm.
I think he was in it for his own interests. Like, I'm pretty sure he thought he was a god. Like, he kept turning. He was turning the weird meat monsters. They kept popping out of people.
But I guess what matters is that we're all okay. So at least we
Mhm.
got that. Man, I just hope
Oh,
that doesn't happen again.
I should point out if we run into that Ambrose kid again, don't let him use the sword.
What sword?
the sword.
He has a fucking short sword. It's a parade sword. It's a parade sword. He put like an edge on. He threw it at a wall and it shattered in half. Don't.
Oh,
If we see him again, do not let him use the sword. He's going to kill himself.
he was a rather proud fellow, that's for sure.
Nobles tend to be proud.
Yeah, not the friendliest either.
No,
Also typical of nobles.
Hmm.
fucking.
I've noticed, yeah.
He spoke Elvish.
That sounds like a you problem.
There were also a bunch of dead civilians.
Well,
Yeah, there was like, I guess the weird dungeon area we were in was underneath what I can only guess was some sort of slaughterhouse. They were like dragonborn and orc and women and children up on fucking meat hooks.
oh
We saw them
God.
do a hole.
Was there
Uh,
anything else going on, or is that pretty much the gist of it? Seems like a
uh,
lot happened.
but the dungeon had some drow in it. All of them ended up dying. We killed one of them.
What's a drow?
Dark elf.
Weird elf person. Uh,
Hmm.
they had most of them had monsters pop out of them.
Ugh.
I should probably figure out what the hell they are and stop calling them meat monsters. Do any of you have like a pen and paper or something?
Oh no, I don't really carry around anything like that, Balazar. Maybe you can ask that feller over there. Can't remember his name. I know he was just saying like he's snapping his fingers and looking over towards the bartender.
Could you
Oh,
describe?
hello there. What would you need, my fine skeleton? Feeling all right?
Oh well, sorry to bother you, sir. We were just my friend over here was wondering if you had a pen in or maybe in like a napkin or something to write on.
Yes, that would be no problem. And he goes behind the bar, like reaching underneath, and he just hands you like it's a little sort of like flip notebook, bound in leather. And he goes, here you are. Consider it a gift from me in case the ale was bad.
Oh no,
It's
don't
And
worry about
so
it.
it's just a little journal, and then it's like it's just got like some rough leather working. It's got quite a few pages in it. It's pretty compact though, and then alongside it is like this sort of this like little like metal spear. He goes, this right here, this is a magical pen. It does not require any sort of ink or refilling. Maybe just a uppage on the enchantment sometimes. I got them from a wizard client. Try it out. And he hands it to you with a smile.
Oh well, that's mighty kind of you, sir. But I was just gonna borrow this. You sure I can have it, or?
Oh, it's no problem. I got plenty. And he brings up like this huge sack, like and looking inside, it has like 50 just notebooks with these like pens on them. He
Oh,
goes, I had a wizard who couldn't pay. He had quite a tab.
well, I know how debts can be, sir. But that's mighty fine of you. Thank you. And he was gonna go over there and hand the notebook and the magic pen to Balazar.
all right. Can I draw like a picture? I'm gonna try and redraw like a picture from memory of the weird meat monsters. What do I have to roll for to do that?
To draw a picture,
Yeah.
I would roll insight.
Okay. Check. Sites. 18.
Nice. Okay. So for memory, it's quite a lucid picture, and then you just draw it like pretty perfectly. It's this sort of fleshy. Here, I'll give you. And then you remember even the name of this thing. You recall it so well. And one moment, let me get that for you.
Now that I think about it, I think he called them lemurs.
Here you are.
Oh, devils. Lovely.
Oh. No, it was lemur. Lemur, not lemur. Weird meat men.
Yeah, devils.
They weren't very good fighters.
Often cannon fodder down 9 hells.
Oh.
You seem to running into these any Drogos?
Never run into any personally. Don't really deal with hellish stuff.
I wonder where Bug went. He's been gone for quite a while, but I guess after the events that you've described to me, he's had a night.
Yeah. And with that, actually, Bug Vungust comes back in, with a little bit more composure than you left with.
Speak of the headache.
What? What's up? What'd I miss?
That's rude.
Well, we were just explaining to Drogos what was going on last night. Isn't it great to find him again, Bug? Huh?
The magic man.
Yeah. Oh, hey, buddy! And he like slaps Drogos on the back.
I have to roll to take damage, or
No.
All right, guys. So, here's the scoop. You guys might all want to sit down.
And he goes and like sits down on a chair at the table while you guys were talking.
So, how would you guys like to make a little bit of money?
Well, I mean,
Huh?
we got nothing better to do, sounds like. And
I wouldn't
hey,
be opposed to such a concept.
maybe we
Money?
maybe we can keep Brock around a little longer. And like he like gives him this like sly smile towards Brock.
Yeah,
How
as
you
long as there's money involved.
Yeah. I actually might have something more than money. I'm not quite sure, but it's quite an adventure. A friend of mine is actually he is the captain of an Orcish ship heading south. And I happen to have some business in Wram. I don't know if you guys know it. It is the city of my birth. It is a city on the coast in the swamplands to the south. It's a little bit north of New Easter, a little bit south of Port Ond.
Okay.
New Easter.
And there's quite a few opportunities I have down there. And if you would be willing to attend some business down there with me, I'm sure we could find some coin. Now, getting to brass tacks, the Orcish vessel, which I know of, is captained by Graham Downson, a good friend of mine. And within the next several hours, we will be able to board his vessel heading south. Now, I believe we should try to maybe head there early and speak with him for a few moments before getting on the ship. How does that sound to the rest of the party?
Okay, Bug, hang on. I have
Yeah?
to ask, when you say he's a friend of yours, do you mean he tried to kill you in the past?
No, actually. See, what happened was some people that did try to kill me actually set me on an abandoned island not too far off the coast. They really didn't like me very much. Do you guys remember in that small town near Vlinen when I just started pointing at that like priest guy and yelling at him because I didn't like him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
I don't like bullies. And there was a king a little farther inland who was quite a bully. And long story short, he put me on an island, and a passing vessel, an Orcish vessel, managed to intercept my message and rescued me. And that would be my good friend Graham Downson, or I just call him Downson personally. He is a noble man and quite an honest worker.
Question.
Yes.
You keep saying Orcish vessel. Is this like just like a cargo boat, or are we boarding like a warship?
No, that's the thing. As I say Orcish vessel because I know people usually think warship. it's actually a cargo transport system. It's very interesting. They do a lot of work for private businesses. Like, I believe this trip, they're delivering wheat from up north down south and then returning with some other sort of crop, like a flax, maybe.
Ah,
Now, I don't know all the details. I just know that he said the ship was heading for Wram, which is where I have business. So, maybe we could go talk to him?
I mean, if everyone else is okay with it, I have no problem going with you, Bug. What
I'm
do you
down.
guys think?
Bad.
As long as you have leads in the south.
Oh, yeah. I have a plan. And with that, Bug gets up in quite a vigor and says, "Let's go!"
All right.
And he throws some money at the counter for the bartender and goes,
Have a wonderful life, my good man.
and and Bug hurries out with like a little bit of a shuffle.
I'm gonna follow him and make sure he doesn't get into trouble.
I will
Yeah,
also
so I
follow
have something.
behind.
I forgot.
Yep, I think we all are.
I got something for him, probably.
So following Bug, he makes his way first slightly north and then takes a right turn towards the water, and he pretty much just following his way down the dockyard. You have all these like merchant vessels and private ships and a couple pirate like war kind of ships, like privateers. And as you're making your way down, you end up going. He ends up stopping and going, "Here it is!" About halfway down the docks at this real big square barge-like vessel. And now this ship has 5 sails in a pattern of 1 in the front, 2 quite far. Let me 1. It's a very interesting looking ship.
All first drawing. Let's go.
Let's
So-
go.
So what you see at current is the back of the ship, which is this great square vessel. And it's got a very interesting design where it has 1 sail and then 2 more in the middle of the ship and then another one in the very front. From the side, it has a bit of a point to it. So you have your 3 like selections of sails. It's this like great big barge with like some portholes on it. And then there's a bunch of orcs just loading and offloading cargo. And then in the very front, in the very front of the like out front on the docks surveying everything is a small-ish kind of very portly orc with like lime green skin and very very like puffy hair, like it's going out in all directions. It's very messy. And Bug walks up to him and goes, and he goes, "Downson!" And Downson looks at you all and smiles. Go, "Oh, are these the adventures you told me about, Mr. Vongus?"
Yeah, they are.
And then he just he turns to you and goes, "Would you like to introduce yourselves?" "Oh, they look like a fine bunch, Bug. And who might you all be?" Says Downson, just looking at you all.
Well, collectively, we call ourselves the Coalition of the Swell Fellas.
Jesus Christ, fucking name.
I'm humorous. You can call me Hugh for short.
Well,
It's wonderful
I'm,
to meet you, Hugh.
I'm Brock Holger. I used to work for the Volunder mines, not in the actual mines, but the sailing and shipping department.
Wait, Bug, you didn't tell me you had a captain amongst you.
Are you an experienced captain, Mr. Brock?
Oh, back in my day, yes, I was.
You might just be able to save my skin with this shipment, sir. Now, here is my beautiful vessel. This would be the Malara. I don't know if you've ever heard of her. She's a very famous cargo ship. But
I don't think I have, but I haven't seen a ship this big in a long time.
Well, that shouldn't be of too much important. Well, you see, Bug has told me that you have some business to the south in Wram, and it just so happens that this ship is heading south to Wram. But I have a slight problem, that being that crew members are quite hard to find to staff a ship this large. And it just so happens that though I may be captain of this ship, I have business to attend to here in Knoll. See, I have another ship coming down from farther up north with ice, and the captain has wrote me a letter saying he will quit immediately upon arrival, meaning if I do not captain that ship, the ice will melt before I can get it far off into the distant island. So I am in need of a captain and several crew members. I am willing to offer you passage to Wram in exchange for some light work. Would that be okay? Are you all interested in my offer?
Well, I don't see why not. I'm here to help. So you just tell us what needs to be done on our way, and we'll get it done for you, Mister Downson.
Oh, that's very good to hear. It's not often you meet such helpful folk. Now, Mr. Brock, are you up to captaining such a vessel as this?
Of course, yeah.
Wonderful. You folks have made my day. And then he turns to Bug with a smile. Thank you, little friend. And he motions for you all to follow him, like up the ramp onto the ship, which the ramp is coming off about here. The ramp kind of comes out the side of the ship and extends down to the dock. And he makes his way up onto the deck and goes, "Let me show you around the place before you set sail." And Bug just follows after him. I don't know. Are you guys just following after him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And so, making your way into the deck, he goes, "First, we have the deck. Now, it's quite a vessel, as you see, with quite a large deck. It's pointed at the front, as you see. It's an Orcish design, with quite a bit of room. The crewmen like to have drinks and party out here, though I don't particularly find it very entertaining myself. Now, if you'll follow me, I will show you underneath the ship first. I'd say let's make our way from bottom to top, as they say.
I hear you, sir.
I do the Final Fantasy fake laugh.
He just looks at you all, just approving. He's happy, and so the first thing he does is he makes his way in the very center. You have like this sort of trapdoor that he lifts for you all, and then makes his way down these steps into this pretty well lit underneath part of the ship. And so underneath the ship, assuming you're all following him,
Yeah.
Yep.
you have this just as big as up top, this big sprawling underneath, and cargo is starting to fill most of it, and like you have all this like wheat, like bales of wheat piled everywhere. He goes, "Oh, this is just the cargo room. Nothing too interesting about it. It's pretty normal. Like, this is not where you'd be spending your time, I wouldn't say." And then, following him back towards the rear of the ship, because you have, like, the cargo area in the front, the rear of the ship, there's, like, there's, like, a big arched doorway, and through the arched doorway, you have a lot of bunks, like, lining the walls. He's like, these are the average crew quarters. This is where the men sleep in the night when not on duty. Here, I believe I can find you beds elsewhere unless you're more comfortable sleeping down with the crew.
I've grown used to sleeping just about anywhere. It's all right.
That's what I like to hear, sir.
We've had a rough couple of weeks, so we're just happy to be under some shelter.
Yes, well, hopefully this can be a bit of R&R. There is not much work on an Orcish merchant ship, you know. We're not a war barge or anything. There's no need to really be on alert or anything. We are simple wheat vendors. Or wheat transporters, I could say. Of course, I don't do much farming myself. I'm not a green thumb.
That's a real respectable profession, sir, if I must say so.
Damn it, Ryan.
And he goes, "Thank you. I feel the mercantile industry needs people like responsible men like us." And following him as he talks, he's just sort of like looking around, kind of like motioning with his hands in like these huge gestures. He makes his way back up the stairs without really mentioning anything else. And then he shows you in the back of what you notice from the profile. The only thing interrupting this pretty solid like wooden mass is the on top area, which are like these two like almost blocks that have been put one on the other, and they're of the same kind of wood. And the wall, from what you see on the deck, from your vision, you have like the deck of the ship, and then the entire back is just this big wall with staircases on two sides and a doorway right here. And he makes his way through the doorway into like this another pretty big, though not as big, room. And he goes, "This here is the captain's quarters and the VIP sort of room. This is where I assume you'll be spending most of your time." And it's this super plush room, totally unlike the rest of the ship that you've seen so far. The carpet is a like very supple, soft purple velvet with a gold inlay. There is a mini bar off to the top right, like a place to like bartend with some like glasses and shelves. You have like these big sort of beds. They're like on the ground, and they're just like these big ovals that look to be of like a soft sort of feather down. And then you have like a sort of like library over like close to the door of like these huge bookshelves and several very plush, comfortable chairs. He goes, "Here we have it. The lap of luxury for a merchant, I would say. Now, when you're on the open ocean, pay no heed to, borrowing too much of the liquor, as I don't condone partying, but I do like a drink myself." And he goes, and he brings you over to the big, like, feather down, like, pillows on the floor, the huge ovals, and goes, "These, my friends, are Orcish sleeping mats. These are what the princes where I come from would sleep on in times of travel. They can fit surprisingly many people. They flatten out as you lay on them, as they sort of compress, meaning the more weight that's on them, the bigger they get. And they are softer than anything I have ever felt before. I find myself sleeping here more than I do in the captain's room."
You
And
guys,
so,
you guys have a lot of stuff going on in here. Really nice and fancy.
This is
Well-
quite the room.
sometimes we have a diplomat or two on board, or I find myself trying to buy out a smaller mercantile company to outfit our growing operation. So if need be, I like to show my guests a good time. Mr. Vungus has spent many a day in this room, has he not? And then Bug rubs the back of his neck and just sort of looks down like, as if just trying to brush that off, like, no, not. And so he goes, "Well, you can explore this room plenty enough when you're out at sea. Let me take you to the top deck." And then, making his way back out, he brings you up the left side stairs, up to this smaller room right here. And this smaller room you first have the wheel of the ship when you come in, which is very strange. Like, this is like a totally covered room. It's a regular wooden door, like wall and everything. But entering, the first thing you see is right in front of the door is the ship's wheel. Like, it's just there in this room. And he goes, I think you'll find this very interesting, Mr. Brock. Please, pilot, look, mount yourself near the wheel like you would piloting a ship normally. And I think, you'll find this quite interesting.
Oh, this is definitely, strange.
And so closing the door, only, Brock, do you, like, touch the wheel and, like, look at it like you're...
Yeah.
Very skeptically. Can you make a perception check for me? So, your eye, like, everyone else notices your eyes, like, sparkle blue for a second, and all the wood around you slowly melts away as if you were in the open air. And he goes, this wheel has been enchanted for my liking, so as not to remain vulnerable to the elements or any sort of pirate. What do you think, Mr. Brock?
Well, this is amazing. I can see everything.
Yes, you can. I'm glad the ship's wheel took to you. Sometimes the enchantment is a little more difficult for some captains to drive, which is why I pilot this very ship myself usually. I'm happy to leave it in good hands.
Yeah,
And then
I definitely don't have problems with enchantments. That's for sure.
oh, that's wonderful. And then gesturing to like behind the wheel, you guys notice this is like a bedroom. Like there's like a big like king size plush bed and like a little area for like sitting with like a couple card games. And like a couple books that are laid out randomly. He goes, and this is where you can sleep as well, my friend. You can go right from the wheel to the bed to any sort of playmaking you would like to do. I have a couple card games and books that I take, but you can take anything you want from anywhere else on the ship.
Very fancy. I like it.
I knew you would. He goes, and then he takes you out of that room and back down to the main deck. He goes, and so you have seen the beauty of my ship. There is not much work to do. It's pretty simple, and the men are very nice. They will show you anything you need. And I believe with that, you must be off. We are, in quite a hurry here. And so he looks at you with this sort of this sympathetic smile again, and goes, "It was wonderful to meet you all, and I hope you have a safe journey down in Wram. Oh, there is one other thing I forgot to mention. I am so sorry." As he's like exiting the ship, he goes, "There will be one stop before going to Wram. You see, as beautiful as this ship is, we are low on provisions, and we've a deal with the trader in Port Ondo for some supplies. So you will."
May I ask this trader's name?
Oh, yes. This would be with the Jorgensen family. They are the nobles.
God.
They are the nobles of the region. They supply us with our foods and our bedrolls and things. He's a very kind king, and I've done a few deals with him. So you'll stop there for maybe a day before continuing on to Wram. It should not be much of a task. And then he notices you were a little uncomfortable. Is there something wrong, my lizard friend?
No, it's just I had really hoped that I had been completely imagining that name.
What name? The Jorgensen family? They're a bit repugnant, but just don't pay attention to their gaudy nature.
It's a long story.
He's just not a big fan of noblemen. Let's just say.
Oh, you and me both, friend. And he goes into like a sort of fit of laughter. Oh, I remember this one time. Oh God, I can't tell that story. And then he's like, with that, I must be off. Time is money and money is time. And I happen to be quite poor at the moment. And with that, he chuckles like belly laughing as he walks off the ship.
No, well, good luck to you, sir. Thanks for the offer. We'll get your stuff delivered. You can count on the coalition.
Oh, well, thank you all so much. And with that, the crewmen, you hear heave ho, and they're starting to pull the plank up after the captain gets off, or after Graham Downson gets off, who is not the captain at the moment. And they begin to take the hay bales, which are kind of on the deck right now, and just quickly put them underneath. And soon you'll be underway. Is there anything you would like to do before departing on the ship?
I would like to turn to Balazar and say, you you ready to see that Jorgensen kid again?
Oh boy.
I mean, at least we can ask him about what happened last night. And hey, think about it this way: it's a much easier job. It's really safe up here on this ship, it looks like, and we ain't gonna be out there in the wilderness roughing it and all the stuff that's been going on. It'll be a nice change of pace.
It seems that fate has smiled on us, friends.
Yeah,
Or,
well,
more accurately, my friend Mr. Downson.
Oh, Bug, got you something.
Yeah, what do you have?
I will take out the fistful of core two-door teeth that I have.
Oh, yeah!
I have 6 of them. I'll give you 3.
Bugs takes 2, puts them in his pocket, and then eats 1.
How's the taste?
But Bug, we gotta talk about you doing that. You can't do that in public.
Why?
It is frowned upon to eat the remains of your enemies in
I take out one of the
civilized
teeth.
places.
I also take out one of the teeth and take it and eat it.
Can you do a Constitution save for me?
Gladly. Is it exclamation point?
Save and then Constitution.
Nat 1, here it comes.
9.
Yeah, you munch that tooth right up. Yummy, yummy. It's pretty soft from being liquefied. And so, with that, the crewmen really aren't paying you any mind, except for there is one very tall and skinny orc with an eye patch who walks up to you at that moment, sees you guys eating teeth, and goes, "Oh, you're eating teeth, huh?
Pretty good.
Yummy. Not my first rodeo." And he brings out a little bag of teeth and goes, "I take these for the long trips."
You know what's up then.
He was gonna look at him strangely and just shake his head a little bit and look back towards the group.
Hugh covers his mouth.
Is very trying and barely succeeding at keeping the very confused look off his face as he looks from Bug to Drogos to the orc and back to Bug.
I just finger guns at the orc.
He just finger guns back.
Hey.
And looking at you, he said, I am Dame Ray, I believe. That's what most people call me. My name is Joseph Dame Ray. And so I am the first mate of Mr. Graham Downson, and he's seen fit to make you all crewmen. We have not been able to find a captain, though, so it'll be a few minutes before we decide on a crewman to captain the fine vessel.
Pretty sure our friend Brock over here.
Yeah, I actually used to sail some ships back in my day. So.
Really? That's extraordinary.
Yeah, and the way it sounds, Mr. Downson gave the whole captaining job over to my friend Brock here, so I guess that your wait is over.
That's fantastic. I would have hated to choose a crewman to captain the ship. You see, if the enchantment doesn't take right away, it never will.
Oh, well, it seemed to go right away with Brock. He's got a knack for that type of thing. A little between you and me, he's a strong feller. He's able to row a boat up a stream for a few days, so he's got what it takes, that's for sure.
That's a really specific thing to state about someone. I'm happy to hear that story later on the deck while we're drinking some ale. I would love to hear your stories. You seem like quite an interesting bunch. Now, the rest of you, you see, you won't be doing very much on our trips. Mainly, I would say, just helping, maybe cooking, or helping with sales now and again, or just mopping. Not very much work. You see, you're an honored guest, especially Mr. Vungist here. And he picks Bug up and like throws him up in the air and catches him, and Bug's like, wee!
It's like a toddler.
Yeah, like that. He goes, oh, and then he puts him down and oh, I hope you have a wonderful stay. Dinner will be in a few hours. As soon as we set sail, that is, Mr. Brock. You might want to get up to the cabin. The rest of you can follow him or go about your business.
Gotcha. Thanks.
I'll be on my way then.
Already? Actually, I should head up to the cabin with you so I can direct you in the direction of Port Ondo.
Sounds good.
Wonderful. And do the rest of you want to do anything particular? I'm gonna. We'll while Brock's setting sail. Anyone want to go anywhere? Hang out?
I just want to show up on deck. Admire the scenery.
Yeah, there's actually chairs out now, like these, like really like they're like beach chairs that the orcs have set out, like in the places where cannons normally would be, like the like where the cutouts are for cannons. They got beach chairs hanging out.
That's sweet.
Like he's gonna like kind of walk over there and take a look at one. He's gonna look at it from side to side and go, He's just gonna kind of like sprawl out on the chair and lay back.
Hit that fat skeleton man spread.
Hey,
it's extremely comfortable.
Hey, Drogos.
What's up?
Yeah, you should try one of these. Come on, there's one right over here. He like points at the one right beside him.
Gotcha. Can I take a seat?
It's very comfortable, like extraordinarily comfortable, because it seems to be made of wood, but you almost melt into it like it's some sort of plush. It's very nice. Balazar, would you like to do anything particular?
Balazar is just gonna kind of walk around, look around like the outside of the boat.
Cool. Someone along the edge of the boat who is like pulling at a rope goes, "Oh, are you there? Are you one of the adventurers that have been brought aboard to help us?"
Indeed. You need a hand?
Oh, I would very much like a hand. And he offers you part of the rope and you two begin to pull together.
I will take the rope. Do I need to make a check?
No, you're just helping him. Just
Alright.
like make it just faster for the two of you because you're both very strong. And now to Brock, who is you've made your way up to the captain's quarters and also observation deck with Joseph Dameray. And so he motions to the wheel and goes, "Feel free to take the wheel." And he closes the door behind you.
All right, let's do this again, and I'll walk up and grab the wheel.
You actually don't need to do a check or anything this time because it took to you so well that you're completely fine. So
Right.
upon touching the wheel, the walls all melt away again. All you can see is Mr. Dameray, and he looks around and goes, "Okay, so the way this room works, it's quite easy. It's been pretty much automated. You just need to tell the wheel where you would like to go, and it will show you the best way to get there."
Wow. All right.
So we're heading for Port Ondo first.
All right. Well, it's been a pretty long while since I've been on the open ocean, so that would be to the south, right?
It would be. It would be not too far south along the coast. Though if you want to take the open ocean, we can always circumvent some traffic and take more of a loop around. It's
That
completely up
might
to
save us some time.
It could. It's up to your whim, sir. I trust in your captainly ability.
I think we'll head out into the open ocean just a little bit more.
Alright.
Try to miss some of that traffic.
Nice. Okay. So you start to see this like golden mist along the in front of the boat, like this line, and it's guiding you like out of port and into the ocean for a little bit, and off into the horizon you see it kind of crook around down south. Goes, "Then there you are, sir. The men, if you see right there, the sails are starting to go up. It's all up to you to start the boat. Now, the way to start this boat, you slow down and you speed up with the paddles on the side there. You notice by your feet, you have a sort of paddle. Now, the first thing is to raise the anchor. That is the stick to your right. It's like a big sort of emergency brake stick. After that,
Alright.
press the paddle with your hand over to your left, and it will begin to go. And from there, it's all in your mind. And a talented sailor like you should have no problem imagining what way we should go, as the ship will follow you.
Alright, well, thanks for the guidance.
Oh, it's no problem at all. And he opens the door, which like makes a little fuzz in your vision as it's like a second like outside appears, and then he closes it.
Alright, I will pull the lever, and then I'll push the paddle.
Alrighty. So I put the map back into
Oh, thanks, yeah.
So as you see what it did was it put you like out to the left until like the end in the mountains in the like guide, you know?
Yeah.
And then you and you see it start to turn right there and then crook down south. That's on like the horizon. And so would you like to follow that path, I'd assume, or what would you like to do?
Yeah, I'll follow the path south to
Alright.
and start making our way towards Port Hondo.
Wonderful. All right, so from here, you see that the ship just sort of glides very smoothly. The sailors have deftly put up the sails perfectly, and as you're heading south, no wind is hitting you, which is very strange for you for a captain, not having to deal with wind or anything. And looking around, you're just mystified by like this magical sort of inside. And from here, you notice that like you just feel like the ship it is an extension of you, and now it knows where you want to go, and so it sort of beckons you to take your hands off the wheel. Do you want to?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So after this is like you've just slid out of the docks. You're going quite quickly, as the ship has an extraordinary turning radius and it's speeding up quite quickly. It's almost as if the wind does not matter. As long as the wind is going in any direction, the ship is moving. And so, as you taking your hand off the wheels, the sort of sky fades away, but you still feel like connected to the ship, and the ship is still moving. Is there anything you'd like to do?
I'll just make sure that we're following the mist, and I'll keep an eye out on the horizon for any other ships.
Right. So opening the door to the cabin, because the 3D vision has gone away, you notice that the ship is like perfectly turning and is headed straight for the horizon, and you actually still see the golden mist off the wheel. Like that golden mist is still there, just not the 3D vision in the cabin.
Yeah.
And it seems to be heading perfectly. And the first mate is down at the bottom. He says, "Good job for your first time on the wheel there, sir."
Thanks, your friend. It's quite magical. It's pretty amazing.
Yes, I mean, you need an accomplished sailor to truly harness the power of this ship, though. None of us could do quite as good as you. Usually it takes us twice as long to get out of port if one of us would have. We're going to save so much time. And so he just sort of goes back to what he's doing, which is like talking to a couple orcs. They're all just sort of like hanging out, sitting around. Some are coming up from like below deck or talking to others, and then others are going down below deck. You notice Balazar, who after pulling up the sail, is actually striking a conversation with one of the orcs just about swords. He's like just talking to Balazar about swords, how cool swords are. Balazar, what do you think of swords?
They are fine weapons.
And the orc is actually showing you his sword, which is like this really bright iron with like a spine bone handle. Like and he's going.
He's speaking in orc.
No, he's just going. Sword. And then the first mate looks at you and goes, "Oh, don't mind Bumble. Some guy really likes his swords." And he like you can kind of like get the gist of what he's bumbling about, but not really exactly what he's saying. You just know that he's talking about how cool swords are and how cool this sword is, and that he got this sword from like someone somewhere probably.
Neat.
And he puts it in his sheath and goes up below deck, like doing like a. He's sort of like the way he walks is kind of like a penguin. He's extremely wide for an orc, even for an
6'4"
orc.
in all directions.
Nah, he's just like super wide, and so he heads below deck. Ambrose is not there. Why did I say Ambrose?
Spoilers.
Humorous.
What? God?
Humorous.
Hello?
Ambrose.
He just spawns in for like a frame and then disappears.
Drogo's and
Balanzar
humorous.
shouts in confusion and anger.
Drogo's and humorous. You two have just been watching like this magical, like the boat's like turning, and like you two are just lounging around and turning around. You see Brock just like on top of the captain's cabin, like not on the wheel or anything. Actually, you all notice Drogo's like all of you looking around, like all look up at once with the first mate and just see Brock like come out of the captain's cabin and close the door, hand on his hips, all proud, and the ship is still turning and like moving.
Don't magic. Love to see it.
Don't worry, it's just a magical
It's magic.
boat. I'm controlling it with my mind.
Oh, well, that's pretty cool. You wanna, any like points to the other side of it where there's another like beach chair?
I mean, yeah, that would be nice.
Pretty cozy.
Yeah, it is pretty cool, isn't it?
And so the orcs have just kind of like made you at home. They are quite nice. They're very interesting. Some of them are like more like you guys. They seem like previous adventurers, where some of them are more like foppish, like accountant style guys. But they all seem very strong and very polite. And so making yourself at home, unless there is something you would like to do on your journey, we can go to Port Ondo. Yeah, sure. Because the seas are calm for the next day. The day and night have passed at this point. You guys have eaten dinner with these orcs. You all have like talked. You've all talked to Bumble a little bit more. He's talked to all of you about his sword, just so you know. You all know that it's a cool sword that he got somewhere from someone.
Huh? I'm almost concerned about whose spine that is.
He goes when you ask that.
When I see the spine, I like. Oh, sorry.
What's up?
I was just saying, when I see the spine, I just like take out the core tooth or skull that I have and just like wink and put it back.
He just sort of shrugs, like, and you know he's probably just like, it's not a sword.
Yeah, fair.
And so you've all sort of lounged around. You've played games if you want to play games. You've drank a little if you've wanted to drink a little. And quite quickly, within 2 days, you notice, because as you've all like gone out to the open ocean as Brock's wanted, and totally surpassed, like gone around any other ships, and within in the morning of the second day, you hear from an like Brock hears this. That is, in his head he hears Port Ondo within 30 minutes from like this like it sounds like the previous captain. Sort of this voice rumbles in your head, Brock. And this is when you're all eating breakfast.
Well, that's ominous, but I guess that's good.
What? What's going on?
Oh, well, apparently we're 30 minutes away from Port Ondo.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's great, but I'll be honest with you, Brock. It's been a great trip. What do you think? It's a lot better than hiking in the woods or dealing with like moon people and whatnot.
I mean, that's fun.
Definitely, yeah. It's quite nice to command a ship of this magnitude again.
The first mate looks at you because they've set like tables and chairs on the deck. That's where they eat. That's their mess hall, and they're bringing it up from the crew quarters where they like have a little kitchen. And the first mate who's eating next to you, Brock, looks at you and goes, "Oh, it's quite nice with a fine captain like you, sir. I'd almost say I like you more than Mr. Downsend. Though, being my brother and all, I have to like him a little."
Yeah, I really don't have to remember.
Now, did you say something about Port Ondo, Mr. Brock?
Yep, we're gonna arrive pretty soon.
Oh, wonderful! I will have the crew prepare as soon as breakfast is over. You see, breakfast is very important to us, Orc. At least, to the ship's crew of this particular ship. Some Orcs, they don't care about breakfast. All they care about is blood and death and war and skinning goblins and humans and dwarves. Like, I don't get it. Just eat like a bagel. They're good. I have not seen someone in 5 years, I'll have you know. You know how many bagels I've eaten in 5 years? Countless.
That is a lot of bagels.
It is a lot of bagels, and he eats another bagel.
The cure to all conflict, bagel.
Mm. Do you say that in character?
No.
Oh. Yeah, and so it's been quite a trip, and so in the next 30 minutes, you all finish up eating, pack up, the tables and stuff, and pretty much the reverse of how you went into, out of port, you are now going into port. Balazar, would you like to help again with the masts?
Sure.
And Humorous, one of the smaller sort of orcs looks and goes, "Sir, you seem to be quite strong. Could you help us haul some hay up from below?"
Oh, yeah, sure. I'd be glad to help. I don't know about strong though. And he kind of flaps his arms around in little clacking sound. I don't have the muscle mass like I used to, but yeah, I'll see if I can't help you.
Yeah, just hay bales. We should be okay.
All
And then
right.
Drogo's Bumble walks up to you, and he motions to the front of the ship where there's this sort of flare, and you kind of get the gist that even though it's not a sword and it's not very cool, and he didn't get it from someone somewhere, it's like what they use to gesture to put Ondo to know that the majesty that is the Maasar is coming into port, and he asks you to please, on his signal, to fire that into the air.
Sure.
It's like a little mountain flare gun. Brock, you make your way up to the captain's cabin with the first mate, who kind of explains to you how the port system works. Which I'll draw that out for you in a second. So, along the coast, you have many sort of ports. Some are actually bigger than others. And then he actually points you all the way pretty far south to this small port that is quite wide and is flanked on one side with these sort of pillars. And he motions you to park in there, as that's the designated spot for them.
Alright, well, it looks like a tight fit, but I'm sure with this ship it won't be a problem.
Oh, it should be fine, especially with an accomplished captain like you. And he just asks you to, think about docking the ship like he said. And, could you roll let's say... 1 second. Can you roll wisdom for me with, a wisdom check with advantage? As you reconnected the boat. Nice. Okay. Yeah, the boat. Being out in open ocean, you end up coming in a bit fast, but the first mate reaches for the brake at the last second, and you just rock back and forth for a second, and it's a bit jerky. And he goes, "Well, I mean, at least you didn't hit the anything." And then he motions to the buoys right there, Oh no. He motions to these buoys, Brock, and you notice that there's a bunch splintered in the water, right there and there underneath the water. Someone's hit them so many times. We keep asking them to expand the fit a little bit. It is a very tight fit, but they those nobles. Huh. Alright,
Yeah.
So the orcs just begin to now that the ship is here, the orcs just begin to offload their hay. and they explain to you that you have like you can come back at night, and we'll probably be there like a day or two at longest. And if you have any business in like if you've never been to Port Ondo, it's a beautiful little port with so many shops and ancient culture. And it's a very interesting city, and that he asks you to please do yourselves a favor and check it out.
Can we take a quick 5-minute break?
I was actually just gonna say, but before you depart, let's take a little bit of a break.
Okay.
Ooh.
Awesome.